Hello everyone. Welcome to sqadia.com. I'm Dr. Hina Khan, and today the topic of my lecture is on thermal injuries. Now, when we talk about thermal injuries, we are talking the injuries to the body which are caused due to a change in the temperature. The change in the temperature can be a decrease in the temperature, or it can be an increase in the temperature as well. Now, coming on to the sections that we are going to discuss in this lecture, and basically that are the highlights of the lecture, are cold, heat, burns, electricity, and medico-legal aspects of all of these thermal injuries that we have to include when we are getting a post-mortem done, or when we are getting a medico-legal case solved in an OPD. So the first section includes the injuries caused by the cold. Now, it can be due to the exposure or abandonment of a person to the cold atmosphere. It can be due to the drowning of the body in cold water, or due to exposure to extreme weather conditions, for example, frostbite and trench foot. We'll be discussing them in detail in the relevant sections. Coming on to the heat, that we'll be discussing in the second section. It comprises of heat exhaustion. That is basically just a collapse of the body caused by the increased body temperatures. Secondly, we are going to discuss about the heat stroke. Now, the heat stroke is basically a pathological mechanism in which the body regulatory mechanisms are damaged, and we are also going to discuss that in detail in the relevant section. Thirdly and foremostly, which is very important from the medico-legal point of view, considering the laws of any country, is burns. Burns is basically exposure of the body to high temperatures. It has got different types. It can be a dry and a chemical burn and a lot of other types that we are going to discuss later on. So we are going to discuss that in detail. In the third section, it wholly comprises of burns because, as I already mentioned, burns is very important when we consider a medico-legal case. For example, in domestic violence, which is on prevalence in almost all of the countries, whether it is a third world country or whether it is a first world country, domestic violence, child abuse are on high rationals. Fourth section comprises of electric burns. Now, electricity, whether it is domestic, whether it is industrial, should be used with care, of course. And it can cause a lot of accidents in homes and as well in environments as well. So we are going to discuss that in detail as well in the fourth section. Lightning is also a part of electricity, as it is a form of natural electricity which can cause high voltage burns, and it has got its special characteristics that we're going to discuss in detail in the fourth section. In the fifth section, that comprises of the medico-legal aspects of burns, of course. Now, as I've already mentioned, while doing a post-mortem, we are going to find out if we come across a body which seems to be burnt apparently, we have to find out, we have to investigate. We just don't have to follow our eyes. We have to find out whether it was a post-mortem burn or whether it was an ante-mortem burn, because it can mislead to the investigations of any criminal cases that we come across. So we have to be very sure, we have to be very definite, and for that we have to get the background knowledge of what are we going to see, what are the signs of the post-mortem and what are the signs of the ante-mortem burns. Secondly, the age of the burn. If a person is not dead after getting burnt, still we have to see what is the age of the burn. The age of the burn basically tells you how much time has elapsed after the incident has occurred. So it also includes to the investigation of many medico-legal cases. I'm sure you're excited about learning about thermal injuries, and hope you'll watch the rest of the sections with us. Thank you so much.